Hello friends, it's nice coming your way. We are excited to come your way today. Happy new month. And this month we have something quite unique. I've got someone to put them on the hot seat. And so I'm going to be asking this beautiful girl some questions, right? And then she's going to give us some answers. I think my first question is going to go like this. I have seen people say that, before I got married, God told me that this person is going to be my husband, and the rest of them of that. I know that you are married to a very handsome man, right? And he's a caring husband, right? But how did you know that did you know before time he was going to be your husband? And how did you get to know? Did you receive confirmation from God, or how did you get to know?
All right. I know the ears of many persons are wide open at this point. Yeah, this is quite a crucial one, yeah. You know, prior to when I got to know my very handsome husband, as he said, let me not fall his hand. He's actually handsome, Sha. You all can tell. Prior to when I got to know him, I knew I was going to marry a minister, but I wasn't really sure what kind of ministration or what office the person would be occupying in the minister kind of office, in quote. Yeah, I got to know Pastor Melvin in year 2016, but then it was this very skunk, deeper like brother kind of looking. Yeah, so I didn't like him. Although I didn't know then that I was to marry a minister. I got to know that I'll be married to a minister in year 2018 via a revelation. By then I was already discouraged in doing the things of God. I was like tired of doing service for God. And then I had a revelation that this is what I'm meant to do for life. I'm going to accompany someone in doing ministry. Like when I woke up from that revelation, I was like, oh God, now that I'm even very much tired, it's now that you're calling me to ministry. Well, let's see how it goes. So in year 2022, I think, Spirit Life Conference 2022, before that revelation actually got into physical plane, I told someone that I remember in year 2018 I had this revelation about who I was going to marry. Then I was a bit, should I say a bit now? Was I a bit emotionally attached to you already? Yes, I was quite emotionally attached to him already. So I wasn't too sure of how this whole thing was going to play out. So I told the girl, it was a week to our Spirit Life Conference in our ministry. And then when I told her, she was just laughing. I was telling me, just chill. If it's God's will for you, sure, everything will play out perfectly well. So the first day of Spirit Life Conference, I don't think, because it's actually happened, you invited Pastor Light. Yeah, let me be specific now. Invited Pastor Light, and then I was the major backup for that program. And then it called you out, and I don't know what he was saying to you, but then he made you stand on the pulpit with him. And later I was like, where's that? Who's that person that's been backing me up? That was how my revelation actually played out. But then I didn't see the face of the person. That was how I got to confirm that, this is it. And right after the conference, after the day one of that conference, the sister I told ran to me. I was like, oh, Florence, this was what you told me the other day, remember? I was just laughing. And I ever since then, or after that time, I kept my cool, because I knew that, this was it. That was a clear-cut confirmation. There was no way I needed to now probe into God again to ask, is it the one? Is it the one? He has already showed me. So then I kept my cool and was just allowing everything to flow. And I got the man of God. So that is actually, it was a beautiful one. God is gracious. Yeah, that's how I got to know that this man of God, my Bubble, was him. So I needed no more dictation or no more guesses, no more probings.
Wow, that's touching and impressive. Some stories I didn't know I'm getting to know now. People like us didn't get God, we didn't see vision, but then it's fine. All right. Next, I'm going to be looking at really how you're able to adapt as a pastor's wife, because you had a very special personality, right? You already said that you're giving up on the work of God, and then now you have to not just be active in the work of God, you have to become a pastor's wife. So how are you able to adapt?
All right. The moment I got to know that I'll be doing life with a ministry person, I had to loosen up, because I was this person that liked my personal space so much. So I had to build my heart to be accommodating to a large number of persons, since I'll be having quite a number of persons coming to the house, sometimes to stay a day or thereabout. Yeah, I had to train my heart to be open to people. And then, I know I needed so much of the help of God. So I prayed. I did as much as I could to have alone time with the Lord and His Word. Yeah, those ones helped. And then, thanks to Pastor, my great disciplinarian when it has to do with spiritual growth. When I got to know Pastor, he was so bent on building up your spiritual life. He started off as my president, really, but then he was very emphatic about building each and every of his subordinates, of his co-escorts under him. It was bent on building their spiritual lives, and that helped, because if I had no person to hold me accountable, if I wasn't doing as I should spiritually, I wouldn't have grown so well. I was accountable to him. Most often, if I wasn't getting it right, the way it was coding other persons were too much different from the way it was coding, because it was by the help of the Lord and by my husband's help. If it wasn't that harsh, or if it wasn't that much of a disciplinarian, I'm not sure I would have been able to build so well as to being a pastor's wife. Although, we're still in the office. So thanks to the Lord and thanks to my pastor.
Being a disciplinarian doesn't mean that you punch, right? It's majorly with the mouth.
Yeah.
You see, you can be a disciplinarian by the level of influence you can have on the person, right? So it's not really about the physical expressions, but it's majorly about the influential impacts you are making in the lives of the person.
Absolutely.
So that is quite essential. Now, I haven't said what she said. One of the things I took from there was the point of accountability, right? She was accountable, and I think that made it quite easy for her to adapt. She had a mentor and she was accountable. Now, I also noticed that, not that I notice, you are a professional, right? And then you are a pastor's wife, you are a leader, and then you are a mother, right? Of Melvina. So how are you able to manage all your roles? How are you able to manage your time and still achieve a depth of excellence in these things?
All right, so basically what actually helped was setting my priorities right from the onset. When you want to go out, you don't start up your dressing by putting on your clothes. After taking your bath, you just go in, put on your clothes, put on your shoe, and then you start applying cream. No, you have to follow the list of priority. What comes first? What's most important in this kind of lifestyle? So I actually have to set my priorities right. Put all of the offices, the professionalism, that's what has to do with career, my family, and then ministry. I have to set which of them is most important, and then I attend to them accordingly and see that none of them suffers lacks or suffers lapses, basically.
So were there a time that any of them had lapses, that you were failing in any part of them?
Okay, I'll say the one that actually have suffered lapses is my it's not family, it's a bit of ministry, because it is actually, there's a difference between doing activities and being successful, making impact. At the time I was too focused on activities, too focused on being involved in this, being involved in this, and then my major office, my major ministry was now a bit suffering lapses, because I was all about activity than making impact.
So how were you able to work on that?
I think my husband called my attention to it rather. He told me that it's not basically about being engaged, be fruitful. So he told me that this is where you are suffering. This point is suffering from having your attention. pay keen attention to this. Your motive should not be to be engaged, just be engaged. Your motive should be to yield results, to make impact in the lives of men. In as much as you are surrounded by people, be sure that you don't only appear to be acting or doing one or two things in their lives, but be sure that they are able to live with the impact. If you are not around, what would they miss you for? That was a basic question that he used to hold me, and then I had that sticked on my head till now. Yeah, that was what actually helped. A cancer.
Okay, that's lovely. I think lastly, before we close, can you throw light on having third parties in marriages or in your relationship? What's your view about that, and what boundaries do you think should be put in?
Okay, I, for a person, I don't really like involving three persons in an issue or in an information. Once it has to do with relationship, I believe the perfect number to keep a secret is 2. And if that person is not so much of a confidant, there's no way to even share the information, talk more of extending it. For me, what has to do with my family stays within the confines of myself and my husband. If it doesn't have to do with an external body having to know about it, there's no point. Anything that has to do with involving even my mom or my dad or just anybody to ease myself, I don't. The best person I would tell so as to also ease myself is him, because it has to do with him, right? Yeah. So anything that has to do with my nuclear family, I don't extend it outwards. If you don't want someone coming to tell you that, oh, I heard this from so person, or I just heard it, the breeze took it out. That's not true. It's best you keep your informations about your marriage, your partner, your spouse, to just between the both of you. If you don't want to be heated with word from outside, you'll now be wondering how someone get to know. Keep it within yourself. If you need a space to breathe, or you are too emotional, too overwhelmed to discuss it with your partner, go into an empty room, say it to yourself in the mirror. It helps.
All right, that's quite important. And also I think that we should all take notice of this, that anything told to a third party is no longer a secret. You can't guide it, you can't control how far it goes. It's no longer a secret. If you want it to be a secret, then please keep it between you and your partner. For me, I see my partner as me. So that is scriptural part, and the two become one. So that means if the two of us become one, if I tell her anything, that means I'm telling myself. But the moment the third party is involved, you can't control how far it will go, because the third party have a confidant also. The confidant, the third party have another confidant. Before you know what happened, it has gone out already and you can't control it again. So the best thing is just only tell your spouse. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much, Mrs. Florence, for being on the show today. I think last time I should also ask, are you enduring your marriage or enjoying it?
Oh, what manner of question is that? It's obvious that I'm enjoying my marriage. I'm in love. I'm not enduring. Marriage is to be enjoyed and not endured.
So what sign can you give the audience right now to show that you're actually enjoying your marriage?
What I trying to say, this is my favorite thing. If you know me, you know that I like playing with my rabobos.
Oh my Kalavigaradada. The anointing came up on me right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe and share the video. God bless you, and we love you.
Bye.